and I'm 7, and I'm about to go in 2nd grade.
And what kind of things do you like to do?
Watch TV and play outside and get new toys.
Oh.
I'm Tori. I am 9 and I'm going into 4th grade. I like to splatter paint, run, and ride my bike.
Splatter paint, run, and ride your bike. Nice. What's your favorite memory from this summer? Did you do anything this summer that was super great?
The beach.
The beach?
I am 10. In February 13th, I will be 11, and then I'm going into 5th grade this year.
Yeah. And tell me some things that you like to do.
Art.
And
Art and basket, and I like to shoot hoops.
oh,
We always say that we have unspeakable joy. So let our feet do all the talking.
The brother that got thrown into the well in the movie.
yeah, that is Joseph. So you like his story when he goes through a lot of hard stuff,
Yeah.
but he keeps following God all the time. Nice. Becca or Clay, do y'all have a favorite Bible story?
And it's all about God.
It is all about God. Yeah. Do you have a favorite part?
Yeah. It's where God, whenever God died, he went up there and lived forever. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's where Joseph and Mary get married, but then, because Joseph doesn't know yet, when Mary's done taking care of the donkey that they found, she's like, and doesn't know that Joseph's around, and then he's like, what? And then she says that
Our dogs do that.
that she's pregnant and she's gonna have a baby boy and it's gonna be Jesus.
The talking when our words fall short. We got reason to.
How come our noses run but our feet smell?
How come?
Why did the pie go to the dentist?
Why did the pie go to the dentist? Why?
To get fillings.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Chicken saying moo.
Chicken saying. Wait, so am I the chicken?
I think it's chicken.
Grew up in Western Illinois, and then I just joined the Navy because all it is corn and soybean farms out there. And yeah, I joined the Navy, was in San Diego for 5 years. It's where I met Megan, and then went to Arkansas, learned how to smoke meat and actually barbecue. So it's fantastic. And then came out here back in 2015. We just kind of bounced between here and Silverdale until we finally bought this house and landed here.
I grew up like half of my youth. I grew up in New Mexico, right outside of Taos, and then moved to Kansas, and that's where I graduated from. Joined the Navy because I felt like I had no sense of responsibility at the age of 18, and it was something that I felt I needed. Then met Will in San Diego. It was actually a fun conversation with a mutual friend of ours introducing me, kinda, but got the color of the jackets wrong.
There was a misunderstanding, but it worked out in my favor in the end.
We met in February 2009, started dating March 2010. And then we went to Arkansas, and that's actually probably the first place that we went to where we actually felt like the actually true Southern hospitality. It wasn't bad, like it was great. Then moved out here, and that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, you in the back of the room with those concrete shoes. It's okay.
So I kind of, like, I was always talked to about Jesus, but it was through the Mormon faith more so, but I don't think it really actually hit me until we were living in Arkansas. My parents were in the middle of a divorce, and we were trying one of the churches, and the sermon just happened to be about facing depression and being a child with parents going through a divorce, even an adult child. And
Wow.
I think that was like the first sermon that ever like put me into crazy tears. And I'm by the way, really thankful you guys have tissues on every aisle because they didn't.
So did you grow up Mormon, or what was your exposure to the Mormon church from?
My aunt is of the Mormon faith, her and her family, and whenever I would go visit her, that's on Sundays we would go to the Mormon church, but I never deemed myself Mormon or Catholic or anything like that.
Your parents weren't really
My mom,
faith people, or just not church people?
my mom talked about God, but she always felt like she wasn't required to go to church on Sundays just to have a relationship with him. So she never pressured us into doing something like that. It was always our choice. We ended up started going to one called Little Rock Church, right outside of Little Rock, and going there on Sundays. And it was kind of a mutual conversation between Will and I to both get baptized. So we got to each pick our own person, and we were baptized at the same time.
That was
Cool.
6 years ago, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I grew up in and out of church. I went to Awana's, like, no pun intended, religiously. I'm not sure if that was because we wanted to go out and have fun, or if it was because the parents wanted a couple hours, you know, because the bus would come right to our door, pick us up, and then a few hours later, you know, they drop us off. I was on the Bible study team. I was on the Olympic team for the Awanas and stuff. It was fun and everything, and we went to church on Sundays and all that. Just it never really clicked for the longest time. And then, so I stopped going to church after my parents got divorced. Started going to a Wednesday night youth group just to kind of hang out with my friends once I was like 15, 16 years old. Just kind of hanging out. And yeah, I mean, I joined the Navy and I've always considered myself a Christian. I just never really had much, what's the word for it? I wasn't very deep into it. You know, I was one of those people like, yeah, I'm a Christian, but I mean, I don't go to church. I don't read the Bible.
Yeah.
I know a bunch of the stories because of Awanas and all that kind of stuff. I knew, you know, I could recite the Old Testament in under like 20 seconds. Or not the whole Old Testament, but the books of the Old Testament.
Yeah.
And, you know, just stuff that stayed on from my Bible, the Awanas days. But I don't know, I was just kind of doing my own thing, wandering around. And then there was a significant series of coincidences that, I mean, I don't really believe in coincidences. So there was a significant series of events that were just like, they were placed too perfectly. I bought a Jeep. The weekend after we bought a brand new Jeep with 6 miles on it, we drove it home. We went mudding, and I got it stuck and flooded it, hydrolocked the engine and everything. $7,500 worth of damage, and I'm sitting here on the forums and talking to people about it and everything like that. And then one guy posts and, you know, makes some sense and stuff like that. And then I stop at some neighborhood kids' Kool-Aid stand, and there's another Jeep over there, so I stop and we're talking, you know, doing the Jeep thing. And then, you know, it turns around like that's the guy. And he's just talking to me like normal, like you know, you would talk to anybody else, and just like throws Jesus in the conversation, just like organically. Yeah. You know, and it was just, he was just so comfortable with it. There wasn't a pause. There wasn't a like, you know, like a half cringe or anything like that. And so you know, we just started hanging out. We went mudding and stuff like that, and he showed me how to actually, you know, not flood my Jeep.
A good friend.
And I mean, one day when they were out of town, I couldn't get leave, and they went out of town to visit some family. I asked them if I could go to church with them, and that was when we went to the Little Rock Church. We had been kind of church shopping a little bit before then. Yeah. And I guess like there's just so many, and there's, you know, little bits and pieces in between that just like it had to have been God pushing, like, all right, now it's the time. I mean, it varies for me. Like I said the other day, there's this subtlety that I feel that God has when He's talking to me. And you know, whenever I feel this or I hear this, it's like I said, like an echo of a whisper. You know, it's just that drive to go do something. And whenever I follow that little thing, it always turns out good. And I feel most close with Jesus and with God when there's like I don't know, it's like this overwhelming peace. I guess it's kind of an oxymoron, but it just overtakes everything, and it might just be momentary, or it might be, you know, for an entire day, or you know, but there's just these times where I just feel this overwhelming calm that I feel like, you know, God is, you know, giving me a little bit of His presence and telling me I'm doing all right.
Yeah. Wow.
I am going to Liberty University. I'm a senior this year, finishing up my undergraduate in religion, like covering the basics of the Old Testament, New Testament, stuff like that. And then next fall, I plan to start at Faith International University over in Tacoma.
Okay.
To go to seminary there and get
Nice.
my MDiv and be a chaplain.
Awesome.
I find myself, as I mentioned, like I always found myself to be the mender or the fixer of people's problems, and like it continued, like, and it still happens, where I find myself with somebody needing help. I think my best one that I remember was stopping on the side of the road for an older lady and her husband. She had dementia really, really bad, and she thought somebody was after her in her house, and I was able to sit there and have a conversation with her and just calm her down. She was so weak. She had been standing for hours. I don't know how long she'd been standing, but she was so weak. We finally got her to sit down, and it was to the point like the paramedics and the police officers had thanked me for staying there with her and helping her, because they didn't know how to handle that situation.
Wow.
Yeah.
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 Wow. And so you really feel God most profoundly in your life whenever He's leading you to see somebody that others might not be seeing,
Right.
and to reach out to them.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's the one that comes to your mind first, but you have to mention that you opened your home up to one of our kids.
I did.
So our friend Aaliyah, through the last few months before she could launch into the world, and having 3 kids of your own,
Yeah.
it's a big deal
That's
to bring one more on.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been an experience too, and I think a lot of it with hers, the first thing that I related to with her was the same thing that another teacher related to with me, was noticing the signs of potential self-harm and that just deep, dark tunnel of depression. I had a teacher that noticed it with me and was like, "You're not in trouble, I just want to make sure you're okay," and that's kind of where Aaliyah and I clicked together on that.
Yeah, really cool. And you also kind of sense that God has a calling on your life.
Yeah. So
what are you leaning into these days?
yeah. So like Will, I'm going to Liberty University. I'm a junior this year. And I'm going for a bachelor's in psychology with emphasis in Christian counseling.
Nice. So what's your dream of what that will look like 10 years from now?
You know, I'm not even sure what it will look like. I just know I want to be there to invest in people, to help them, because there's so many people that feel, for lack of better words, feel invisible to everybody else.
Yeah.
All the things that I can think of, that I've been thinking of since, because I knew you ask everybody this question, I knew you were going to ask it. The things that I can think of would just kind of take the fun out of some things. Like, when is my number up? That might be one. Because, you know, you don't want to know, but if it's like 50 years from now, you're like, okay, you know, I can come to terms with that over the next 50 years.
Yeah.
But then that's no fun, because, you know, there's, just a straight answer for what it is. What is my end game? What am I supposed to be doing?
Probably where I fall too, and we've actually had conversations of that. You know, like I don't even know what his purpose for me is specifically, and it'd be really nice if you could just be like, here it is, you know, black and white. Here's the whole book and the whole layout of what your life is going to look like. Well, guilty pleasures, coconut cream pie. I actually made him drive around like right before we found out that I was with child with Becca. I made him drive around for like 3 hours trying to find the only store that actually sold coconut cream pie in San Diego.
Yeah, that was fun.
Do you make it?
I like to crochet. I like to just do things for other people in general. And he probably will tell you that like that's probably the biggest thing that I get joy out of is just things for other people. I think I do more for other people than I do for myself.
Yeah. I would say so. Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Will?
My dog, probably. I like my dog. He's a goofball. And, you know, just working with him, you know, playing with him and stuff like that, training him. Because we did get him for a specific reason, so we have put a whole lot of time and effort and energy into him.
We always say that we have unspeakable joy. So let our feet do all the talking.
Read the Bible. Read it. Everybody says it. Everybody says, "Oh, I need to read more. I need to do it." Just get it on your phone. Get it, you know, at a bookstore or something. Whatever you need to do. Just get one and just start reading it. You'll never regret the time that you spent, you know, reading.
I have to say, you know, just taking the time to sit and listen. Because oftentimes just sitting there and listening is when you hear what's coming through in the silence. And I think that's where, for me, a lot of it has come with being able to just sit and listen to people who feel invisible. Because in reality, they're my lifeline too, just like I'm theirs. So
Yeah.
just listening.
Nice.
The talking when our words fall short. We got reason to get.
There's a lot of diversity. You learn a lot of different things from a lot of different people from all over the country. I don't mean diversity just of color, but I mean like all over the country, all over the world. People are, you know, becoming citizens, joining the Navy, and you just learn so much from so many different people. You have good experiences, you have bad experiences, you have really good leaders, and you have absolutely terrible leaders. And just, you know, hopefully learning from other people's bad experiences, more than your own. But, you know, just figuring out what works. Because there's a wide pool of knowledge and wisdom to kind of soak in.
Yeah.
I think for me it was not being able to pass judgment off of somebody's outer appearance and that, because you all have to wear the same uniform.
Yeah.
And so you can't tell from the outer appearance if somebody likes rock music and maybe that's not your kind of music or whatever. And you actually get to know people instead of what they appear to look like on the outside.
The talking when our words fall short. We got reason to get up.
Talk.
What's kept y'all strong?
Yeah.
Talk. You hear it from all the old people that have been married for 50 or 60 years. You know, you have got to have the conversations, and you've got to have the conversations before it's this big thing in your mind. You know, if something mildly irritates you, you're like, no, I think that's just nitpicking to say something. But don't say like, oh, you're chewing too loud. That's really annoying. You know, but you know, have the conversation, because if you don't, then it will get bigger. It will get bigger, and it will start something that makes no sense in the end, because that's all over something that's so small but it's irritated you so much, you know, it's gotten this big weird thing. Just talk, have
Nice.
conversations.
Yeah.
Let your wife or your husband know. Oh, thank you, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Or you know, maybe not do that next time. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
And don't be afraid to show your emotions with one another. I know that that's something that we've worked with together, is being able to put out what our emotions are without feeling extremely vulnerable or weak. It's not a sign of weakness, it's part of the communication process between one another.
Yeah. Being real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
One more thing. The 5 love languages.
Yes.
Get it? It's a short book. Get it, learn it, live it. I promise.
Yeah.
Love is work. It's not just simply an emotion.
Right.
And everybody
Just work on it.
Good.
everybody
Yeah.
sees
Work on it.
everybody sees and feels love in a different way.
Yeah, those are good. Really good. So this wasn't on the list, so it's kind of on the spot. But what's one of your favorite things about the other person? So, Megan, one of your favorite things about Will, and Will about Megan?
He's my logic and my emotional hot mess state. Because I'm definitely very much an empath, and I'm very much reside in my emotions, but he helps me think through it on the logical side when I'm in that state. He fixes things I don't have to worry about fixing or paying somebody.
I think the other side of that coin, she tells me when I'm supposed to be sad. She tells me no, yeah, she's always about everybody else. There's certain times where I have to remind her, you know, hey, you got to do something for you. But she's so giving in everything that she does.
Yeah.
Yeah, you in the back of the room with those concrete shoes.
So, favorite movie of all time?
The Labyrinth.
The Labyrinth. I've never even heard of
Man,
that. Is that
No.
scary?
No, it's got David
no.
Bowie in it.
that's
The Labyrinth.
her. Oh man. Maybe G.I. Jane. Just from years and years
I
ago.
used to love that movie.
Back when I was, gung ho and I was going to be a SEAL, like every other 17-year-old kid.
Yeah. Nice. If you could go to one concert, which concert would you love to go to?
Do they have to be living?
No.
Oh, okay, David Bowie.
I don't know. I never got to go to Ozfest whenever I was a kid.
Oh gosh.
I wanted to go to your
We're talking about back in the past.
Yeah,
So yeah, I never went to Ozfest. I think that would be a pretty cool experience.
Are you a heavy metal kind of guy?
I love 80s hair metal. And, oh yes. You if you see me out in the yard, Alexa's out there and she's playing Journey and AC/DC and oh yeah.
And some bands he
Awesome.
doesn't even know that I know.
That's funny.
That's the Misfits.
What's something random that's on your nightstand right now?
My foot spray.
Favorite meal?
Oh.
I can't have it right now, but steak fingers and mashed potatoes.
Steak fingers. I haven't heard steak fingers in a long time. Yum.
I'll tell you what. I just discovered this thing called reverse searing on steaks. It's fantastic. You slow cook it, and I used a smoker, so it's even better. You slow cook it up to whatever temp you want. For me, it's like 135, 140 for medium rare, rare to medium rare, and then you sear it, and then you eat it. It's fantastic. It's the best thing ever. So yeah, I'd say a fillet with mashed potatoes.
If you could do anything, what would your dream job be?
I'll go back to high school on this one. Professional skateboarder.
Probably run a sanctuary for pets, for
That's
animals.
cool. Yeah.
Oh, mine seems less cool now.
It's okay to cut loose. It ain't about how you move, but what moves.
Happy Dance by Mercy Me.
Happy Dance.
I love that song. It's
Nice.
fantastic. And You just got to remember every once in a while, just you could choose to be happy. Just make the choice. It's hard when you're not, but you can just make the choice.
You can choose.
Happy dance.